This conference will now be recorded.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So today's topic is serialization and deserialization. Okay. What is serialization? What is deserialization? We'll understand first. So generally we are dealing with objects, right? Okay. So if you want to save the object permanently into a file, I mean in the hard disk of the system, how to store directly? So an object has to be transferred. An object has to be transferred, okay, through memory buffers. Through memory buffers, guys. Do remember. It has to be transferred through memory buffers. So, uh, yeah, yeah. The data of object has to be transferred through memory buffers. While it is transferring, okay, the data has to be converted into stream of bytes. Bits or bytes, okay, which is memory format. The data directly cannot be transferred in your object format. Guys, mute yourself, everyone. The data will be transferred directly, cannot be transferred directly in the form of Java object to the file. There are some transporters, okay, memory transporters, okay. The memory transporters always expect data in the form of bytes of stream or stream of bytes, zeros and ones. That means your object has to be converted into stream of bytes and stored into file concept, file, physical file. So this process is called as serialization. And in reverse, suppose you are reading data from the file in the form of object, because Java is an object oriented programming. It always deals with objects. So when you want to read the data from the file, again the data will not be directly available in the form of object, Java object. The data will be in a stream of bytes and it has to be traveled through the memory and reconstructed object for you. So this process is called as deserialization. Serialization means what? Converting an object into stream of bytes as a transportable format and reach to the destination called file. And in the reverse, from the file when you are reading, and why I'm talking about file, because we are going to deal with file now. Okay, the later we will go with the database. Do remember this. So the data will be retrieved in the form of stream of bytes, then reconstructed an object back. This is deserialization. So how to do this process? Okay, how to do this process? So Java provides everything, guys. We no need to worry about anything. Creating threads. Java has given classes, thread class, runnable interface. Creating exception, Java has given a class exception. We can create our class as an exception. Okay. Similarly, if you want to perform serialization, deserialization, I mean, if you want to store Java object into file, then you can go with the Java based, I mean, Java given stream based classes, predefined classes can be used. Do remember this point. Okay, so very simple, guys. There is one big object you want to transport, you want to send it through courier. So the courier service will expect that the object should be in a transportable format, like not like a big element. Okay, you have to make it very short and you have to give them with a pack, then they will transport it very simply. Similarly, this is like a transportable format. So in order to deal with the Java object, I will take I will take one Java class. What is that? Okay, let me go to 18. We have class here. I'll just copy this class, Control A, Control C. Guys, I will take this class and I will go back to the day 20 and paste. So one ready-made class is available. I can create object for this class and I can involve in serialization. Now let me go and check, guys. Before writing the code, I will show you. There is a class file output stream class, FOS equals new file output stream. I'm creating object for this class. At the time I'm placing the location d:/serial.txt, serial.txt, any name you can give. So like if you remember, scanner sc equals new scanner system.in. What do you mean by this, guys? In the brackets you said, was this object sc, you read the data from keyboard. Similarly, was FOS object, you read the data through your methods, okay, or you write the data through your methods into this destination, into this physical file. Do remember, guys? So this is the destination. Control import. Then also it will expect try catch blocks to be handled. Yes, I wrote automatically try catch blocks here. See, guys, in the try block after this, okay, after this what I am doing is, guys, one more point I want to clarify. One more thing I want to clarify. Tell me, I opened a file. I opened a file in this line. And you know that at the end of the program, after writing some statements, for example, you write some program, you completed your task. Your task is completed, FOS must be closed. Guys, do you think this is the right place to close the resources? Is it the right place to close any resource, guys?
No.
Why no? Why no? What happens if I close? Because my sorry?
We have to close in the end of the methods.
And repeat.
We have to close in the end of the methods.
We need to create some end of the method.
We have to close in the end.
Yes, is it not end? What do you think? It is not end. In the try block, this is end, na? Okay, tell me first of all, what happens if I close? What is the problem if I close here? What is the problem if I close here? Okay. For example, during this execution, somewhere you got an exception. Assume you got an exception here. Immediately what happens? The control will jump to catch block or not?
Yep.
Will those lines executed?
No.
No. So will the file is closed? No. Guys, you understand why I'm saying it is not
Yeah.
correct place?
Yeah.
So the best place is what? Guaranteed place. What is the guaranteed place? I will tell you. There is a finally block in try. Yeah, there is a finally block in exception handling. Which block? Finally block. Okay. After the catch block, you write a finally block. Whether your exception is raised or not raised or any case finally mandatory, compulsory, it will execute. Guaranteed execution block is finally block. FOS dot close. The problem is FOS is not recognized inside the finally block. Why? Why it is not recognizing FOS?
Try block.
Because it is declared in the try block. I should not declare anything in the try block, guys. This is the best practice. Everything variables declare globally outside the try block with null. Now the same FOS you can use here like this. So once you declare FOS with null, FOS equals to new file output stream. Now FOS can be recognized and it is asking you to handle the exception. Yes. Put the try catch blocks. Now it's everything fine. Guys, understood why we declare the variables outside the try blocks is clear to everyone. Why I'm declaring this here, not inside the try block, because I wanted to use outside the try block also. Similarly, the problem is what? I create one object. Which object? Employee. Employee object. EMP equals new employee object. 100 Pasha 999.9. Now FOS dot write. Guys, if you look at it, write methods. Do you have any write method which can write my Java object here? Or you see only byte objects, integer bytes? Do you have any write method which can write the object? Do you see? No, no. Means directly a Java object cannot be written using this file output stream. I need one more class to help object output stream. OOS equals null. Why I am using object output stream, guys? Because I want write Java object. So there is no method inside FOS. OOS equals new object output stream. Inside the brackets, you have put FOS. FOS. And again, it will expect one more catch block. You can put add. Already we have throws no. Add catch, yes. Existing surrounding here. Rather than one more try catch, I am writing surrounding with one more catch block. Yes. So OOS I created and OOS is pointing to FOS. FOS is pointing to physical file. Okay, D drive, some address you put. So if you write any file object OOS dot write object, guys, look at this. There is a write object method. Write object in which you can place your EMP object. Do you have a method to write object inside the OOS? Yes. Object output stream provides that method. Yes. After writing that object, I am saying system.out.println file created successfully. File created successfully. Let's run this code. Yeah, there is a problem. Not serializable exception. 20 employee. Yes, employee is not serializable exception. It is trying to convert into serialization process. This object is not ready to convert as a byte of streams. Why? Because this is a plain object, Java object. So this object should support for serialization. How is it possible? What is the problem? Why it is not supporting? I need to import one interface serializable, serializable.
Implement.
Implement serializable. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Implement serializable. Once you have implements this is the interface, but it is not a regular interface, guys. It will not force you to override any methods. This interface is like a what do you call, like marker interface, means no abstract methods interface. But it is not asking you to override any methods here. It is not asking you to override. It's simply changing the status of your class into serializable class. Before it was a plain Java object class. Okay. Now it is serializable class. Serializable class. I mean, after the objects of this class can be converted into serializable. Let us run, guys. See, file created successfully. Guys, if you want to transport, if you want to send any item through courier service, your item should be in packable, right? If your item is not packable, it cannot be transport, right? They will ask you first, boss, I don't want this, please pack it properly and bring it, right? Similarly, serialization process is saying your object is not serializable, not packable, make it serializable so that I can pack and send it. So now when I implement serializable, then our class has become serializable class, guys. I hope everybody got clarity. Now you go and check in the D drive, serial check. Yes, serial dot file is there, but you can't read this data. It is not in directly your format, it's in different format, guys. Okay, for your confirmation, let me remove this file. Do you have serial? No, we don't have. Let me run this code again. The file is created again. File created successfully. Go back and check serial. See, guys, got the serial file? Yes, again, you got it. You understand, is it successfully creating your file in your system or not, guys?
Yes.
Likewise, your Java objects or any objects, okay, array list, you can simply store in the file, guys. Very simple code. Okay, what if I want to read the data? Directly you can't go and read from there. You have to write one more program to read the code. Let's write one more program to read the file. File demo 2. Actually, files are not important for us. We deal with the database. Sometimes it may be useful. Does this file directly can be readable? No, I need object input stream OIS equals null, and same object input stream OIS equals new FIS. Correct. We'll again expect import exception. So I will add surround with try catch rather than adding one more new try catch. Okay, finish. Yes, now two streams are ready. How to read the data? OIS dot read object, guys. Read object. Read object will read your object and store into the Java object. Don't expect directly in your object. It will expect in a Java object. Again, try catch. One more try catch. Very good. You need to deal all try catches, guys. Yes. Now your data read from file and coming into a Java object. But your object is not Java object. Your object is employee object. So in order to read into your object, employee emp equals typecast. Do the typecasting. Now you understand the use of typecasting. The object data will convert it into employee format and store into your format, that is typecasting. Now print emp, which will print your object directly, guys. Let us see. See guys, your data is printed successfully using. Okay, now for your confirmation, let me go and delete that serial.txt. Yeah, here it is. I will delete this file. It's no more. Let me go. Run the code again. You will get exception. File not found exception. Guys, cannot read the file. Okay, na? So now write create after read print. So writing reading objects into file, guys. This is what we call serialization, deserialization. Are we done? Guys, this is the file concept in Java. So if any doubts, you can ask me. If you are clear, we can start with the JDBC.
Sir,
Yes.
there is a transient keyword for the serialization process.
Yes, yes. Transient means it will not store that particular field into the serialization. It won't, but you don't use that in this particular storage. It will use like in database using Hibernate.
Yeah, is it applicable
It
to
is used in
method or
Hibernate.
is it
No,
applicable to
for
method
the
or
variable.
variable?
In
Okay.
Hibernate, not here.
Okay.
Yeah, if you transient anywhere, that is annotation
Okay.
in Hibernate.
Okay.
Yeah. So this particular field will not be stored.
Okay. Understand.
Yes.
Yeah, and sir,
Is that
yesterday
clear
we
now?
discussed. Yeah, yesterday we discussed that equal to and hash code method should be override. You told me to remind tomorrow.
Yeah. Actually, I tried that. I don't have time, much time,
Okay.
but there was
Okay.
some error I was getting. I will show you. Don't worry.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Later I will do it. We correct the program. I will do it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah, guys, serialization is clear to all. Can we move forward to JDBC?
Yes, sir.
Okay, shall. Guys, like this, our requirement is you are dealing with many objects in your program, many data in your program. Okay, and you want to store data not in files, because files is not permanent solution. File is not the real-time solution. Database is the real-time solution. So if you want to store the data into database, any database, then what to do? Okay, I'll discuss on that. First of all, let me go and discuss. First, we'll understand what is JDBC, Java Database Connectivity. I mean, whenever you come across the situation where you need to talk with the database through Java application, then you must think about JDBC, Java Database Connectivity. Okay, it's a separate interface provides to communicate with the database. And what exactly we need to understand before we getting into JDBC is, guys, assume whatever your database could be MySQL, could be Oracle, could be an SQL Server, any database, never mind about it, whatever you want. We are getting into MySQL database because it's a open source. MySQL is open source, guys. MySQL is open source. Okay, that's what we are getting into MySQL database. Okay, tomorrow you may need Oracle, so you can go to Oracle, any database. But in order to talk to a database, you must need a driver, JDBC driver. You can look at it here in the diagram. JDBC driver for MySQL, JDBC driver for Oracle, JDBC driver for MS SQL Server. Like that, for every database, you must need a driver. What is driver? What is driver? It's a mediator used for communicating for database. Guys, when you bring a pen drive and insert into your laptop or machine, what will happen in the beginning? It will load a software, right? That is nothing but it will load a driver. Until and unless a driver is successfully loaded into the system, the driver files, the device files you can't read, and you can't copy the files from your system to pen drive also. Am I correct? Guys, am I correct?
Yes.
Without loading driver of your pen drive, can you able to communicate to the pen drive? Not possible. Similarly, assume this is one of the biggest storage device, MySQL database, for example. I need driver to be loaded first, no? So the Java application should load the JDBC driver corresponding to the MySQL. The Java application must load the Oracle driver. Okay, the Java application must load the MS SQL Server driver. Okay, so then only you will be able to connect to that particular server. Otherwise, it's not possible. The driver is most important, guys. But from where will you get this driver? Who will give you this driver? The driver will be given by vendor itself. MySQL software, you will get the MySQL driver. Oracle software, you will get the Oracle driver. Or else you go to Google and search for the driver, externally you will find. I mean, the who will prepare the driver? Does Java people will prepare the driver? No. Who will prepare the driver? Database vendors only. Database vendors responsibility to create the drivers, not the Java people's responsibility. If I have a database, I should prepare driver how to connect to my database, and I should give the driver software to the Java people. The driver software is given in the form of a .jar file. In the form of what? .jar file. Okay. In order to work with MySQL, okay, we have a driver jar file to be downloaded from internet. I will show you how to download the driver. Go to Google, say type MySQL connector J, MySQL connector J jar file. If your version is 8 version, you just type 8. If your version is 5 version, type 5 as your wish. Just click on this link connector J MySQL download. Guys, select the platform independent here, which can work for Ubuntu, okay, Mac, Windows, and download this zip file, not tar file. If you are working for Mac, you will go for tar gz. If you are working for Windows or all, go for download zip. Once you download this zip, guys, you need to extract the file under this zip. No thanks. It is official site of MySQL, guys. See, once the zip is downloaded, open the zip, get into the folder, you will find a bin.jar or normal jar. If you have bin.jar, extract it, put it into desktop or somewhere else, or if you don't have bin, extract the jar file, put it into the desktop. That's it, guys. This is the way how you can download the jar file. Once jar file is ready, you are ready to code the JDBC. What is the first step? I will tell you. What is the first step towards the writing the JDBC code? Driver loading process. Our first step is driver loading process. I already told, loading driver is most important. Loading driver is most important, guys. So how to load the drivers? You no need to worry about it. Just use the method for name. Use the method for name and provide the driver class name. Provide the driver class name. See, this is the driver class name for MySQL. com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Actual driver is, this is the class. Actual driver class is driver. What others are? These are the packages in which the driver class is located. Like you say java.util. Okay, scanner. So scanner is the class which is inside the java.util package. Similarly, driver is the class which is located inside the packages called com.mysql.jdbc, guys. Okay, na? So always driver must be referred along with the packages. So class.forName is a predefined method, static method. How can you say forName is a static method or non-static method, guys? Tell me, anyone? Is the forName method is static or non-static method?
Class name dot method.
Yes, because I am using class name dot method name. Very good. So you should write this code and in the JDBC program. Let me create a separate project for JDBC, guys. Normal Java project only. JDBC demos. Finish. SRC, right click, new, day.1, right click, new, class, JDBC demo 1, main method, class. So as a first statement, I am writing class.forName. java.lang. Okay, but the driver manager,
Sir.
is not. Yes,
Sir, sir, we are not able to hear you for around 1 minute, sir.
yeah, you are not able to hear me. Yeah, establishing connection. Establishing connection means what? Establishing connection means you need to connect it to the database. Okay, and see, class dot for name means this class is a Java class, Java.lang class, package class. But driver manager is not a Java class, it's a JDBC class. Do remember. In this driver manager class, we have a method called get connection method. It's a predefined method, get connection. In this method, you provide the URL. You provide the URL. I'll tell you what is URL and username, password. If you provide all the parameters, then it will establish the connection finally, guys. Okay. It will establish the connection, and if everything is successfully established, the connection object, it will return the connection object back to the variables. Okay, chalo. Let me do one thing. First, let me go to the MySQL database. Once you install MySQL database in your machine, open MySQL. Click on this. I have 5.5 version. ROOT root password. Don't expect visibility. ROOT. See, MySQL is opened. You can check the version and all. It might be 5.5 or 8 version. It could be anything. Once the MySQL prompt came, you first create the database here. Create a database. DB underscore 830. DB underscore 830 is your database, guys. Inside MySQL, you are storing your tables inside this database DB 830. Do remember. In order to get into the database, type use DB underscore 830. I mean, you are opening the database. Show tables. Right now, you don't have any tables. No set, empty set. Forget about tables right now. Now you know we created our own database inside the MySQL. Guys, can you hear me properly or not? Are you able to hear me, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I created my own database, ma. Okay, now you get into, see, in the get connection URL, what you are typing, JDBC colon MySQL. What is this? HTTP, HTTPS, we type na, like that. It's a software protocol which you type in the URL. It's a fixed protocols, ma. After that, you provide a double slash. Localhost means the IP address of the machine in which MySQL is loaded. Boss, Java application MySQL are in same machine or different machine? So in my current laptop only, the MySQL is loaded in the current laptop only. That is the reason I gave localhost. So in my local machine, the MySQL database server is in my machine. If you go to your real-time job environment, you will be given an IP address. That IP address you need to type here, guys. .122 like that. Do remember localhost. So right now everything is one machine. So I gave localhost. Okay. In this machine, which port you are going to connect? What do you mean by port? Every server. It could be database server, MySQL server, Oracle server, or any server. Every server uniquely is connected with a port number, identified with the port number only. So you will not say I will connect to MySQL. You say I connect to this port. This port is fixed port for MySQL 3306, guys. 3306 is a fixed port for MySQL. So do remember, in my local machine, in 3306, indirectly you are saying MySQL database. In the MySQL, which database you created? I created DB 830. So that you provide here. And username is root, password is root. Guys, when you install, if you change the password, I mean if you give different password, you remember and type your password here. But generally prefer to give the root password, guys. While installing, make sure when it is asking password username, always follow root to root. Don't try to change the password and the username. Guys, once your all parameters are perfect, it will establish the connection and create a connection object, throw it back, and you should receive with this. For example, if I have some method 10, 20 or 20, 30, it will perform the sum and it will return what? 50, right? Right. What it is returning? 50. How will you store? Integer C. Why you are using integer C? Because it is returning integer. Similarly, this is returning what? Connection object. How you receive? With the connection object only. Got it. So connection is predefined interface in JDBC. Driver manager is predefined class in JDBC. Connection also predefined in JDBC. So you create a reference variable for connection variable so that you can hold the connection given by the driver manager. Guys, this part is clear to all or not? Is this part is clear? Shall I move forward?
So connection class is Java class, sir.
No, connection is not a class, it is interface. It is a JDBC. See, import java.sql, java.io, java.lang is Java, java.sql is JDBC. You see, driver manager import is what? Java.sql. They are all JDBC stuff. Do you recommend the declaration? Do you huh?
They are Java interface, not MySQL, not from MySQL.
No. There is no interface in MySQL. See, I should not declare this here. I should declare it is out of the try block. You remember just before we did now. Any variable, any class variable, any interface variable you declare outside the try block with a null, and the same variable you put here. And a try catch block. Add new catch block. Remove green line. See, I declared empty connection variable, then the same variable I put here, so the driver manager can return the connection object and it can store the connection object, guys, if everything is fine. DB name is correct, huh? No, DB underscore 830. We created that only now, guys. What is your DB name? You provide this here. Do remember, everybody has to create, then you enter. Now tell me, guys, how do I confirm the connection is successful or not? Tell me with your knowledge. How can I confirm connection is successful or not?
Print this out on 14 number line.
What?
Successfully connected.
How do you know successful? How do you know connection is success? So put an if condition. The con is not equals to null, no?
Okay.
See, initially con contains what?
Null.
Con is having null value. After this successfully created object, it will store the connection object in the con. I mean, the null is replaced with object. If still is null, means no success. If not null, means success.
Success.
Check this, check this. Oh, one more error. What is the error? Class not found exception. Driver class. Yeah, very good. I told you now. When you are loading the class driver class, you should attach the jar file to your project. Did we attach the jar file to our project?
No.
Not yet. We did not attach the jar file. We downloaded. How to attach that jar file? Because you are loading the driver, but physical file is not there in your project. The jar file must be there. So right click on the project, go to build path, configure build path, library. There is no jar, only Java is there. Add external jars. Go to the folder or place where you downloaded your jar. Select the jar, you will get here. Your job is over. Now run the code. Check it. Connection success. So now we successfully connected to the database. If any doubt to anyone, feel free to ask me. This is the JDBC code. Guys, JDBC and even furthermore session from now onwards looks heavy code, but it's very easy if you understand. The same code will be repeated all over the JDBC, all over the JDBC. So tell me. Yeah, how many of you have MySQL in your systems, guys? Who have this MySQL database?
Myself.
Yes. One.
But I'm using Workbench, not command line. I don't.
You
how
need
to
command
write.
line. You need command line.
So how to download MySQL, sir?
MySQL software. I will get it. MySQL. MySQL download. MySQL server. Windows. Yeah, I think you can download this. I want MySQL installer. This one will take it. This installer. Installer. Yeah, you can take this one and double click install. That's it. Okay, now
Okay, sir.
you will be downloaded a file like this installer MSI. I'll show you. MySQL soft. Downloads MySQL. Yeah. Do you see this installer community? Double click on this if you get this, or I will send it this if you want. If you are unable to download, let me know. I will share. Double click next, guys. Don't do anything. Just install 8 version or 5 version. Is that clear to all? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. By tomorrow, next session, I want everybody to come by installing MySQL and practicing this first program. If you have any difficulty, let me know in WhatsApp. I will help you out. Okay, guys, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, chalo. Bye guys, see you tomorrow.